Hello. It's Friday. Got the Friday.
It is.
And to celebrate, do you know what? I normally drink water all day, but I've treated myself to some blackcurrant cordial because I'm feeling a bit naughty today. With it being
naughty. Yeah. Keep dreaming, mate.
Keep dreaming. Yeah. So welcome back to Free2talk TV. This is our little TV channel where we talk about the news of the week, and obviously, there's the big news of today is what we're going to be kind of focusing on. We're going to be talking a bit about the local elections that have been going on, because for especially for Owen and Richard. You don't really know anything about it. You don't know what it's for and stuff. So I'm going to try and go into details about what it represents, why it's important, but also get people's opinions on how we can possibly get more people engaged with the vote that's happened. So first off, let's see how everybody is. Owen, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, James. I've had a very good week, so I'm very looking forward to be on the show today. Nice to meet
that's you. What I like to. I do. You get we've practiced a long time at this. Richard, how's your day been?
It's been all right. Very long day at college. Been a good week though. I enjoyed it.
Damn college and learning stuff and bettering yourself. Down with that. That's what I say.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You don't like it. But I mean, last time we kind of spoke, you'd finished almost all your college work, hadn't you?
Yeah, that's why I spent 6.5 hours really not doing anything.
That's why yeah, you see, you had to go to college and not do anything. Oh, it's a terrible state of it. Ayo, how's your week been?
Well, I think it's good because we started the week with a bank holiday, isn't it?
Yeah, I love a cheeky bank holiday, me.
I'm a bit sad about the bank holiday actually because I didn't get to play games with you, James.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it did feel weird not playing Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
On
Anyway,
carry on, Ayo. While we interrupt.
Yeah. I think it was good. We started with the bank holiday. Now I wish every Monday is a bank holiday, to be honest. It's been a good week, and thank God it's Friday. I look forward to the weekend. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it's been a good one this week for me. Well, I lost a day because I only really work part time. But I had so much work to do on Wednesday, like loads, and I've just stared at the computer all day today, like sorting out press releases and stuff. Rioni, how's your week been?
It's been good, thanks. I've just been with my family, really, just chilling.
Oh, just chilling with the family. That's what you know what that is just as good. Right, so there's an echo of me happening. Hello, Emma. Nice to see you again.
Hey.
Right, so yeah, if anyone else is in the chat on any of our platforms, because we're on Facebook, YouTube, multiple Facebook's platforms as well, please say hi. Please join in the conversation. Just because I did take the mickey out of one of my friends because he posted earlier on Facebook. We are going to try and keep it as neutral as possible with this political conversation because
we all know you like
I obviously diss the government an awful lot, but that's because they're in power and they're responsible for a lot of the stuff. But I don't want this to be like, oh, you lost, oh, we won. I don't want any of that. Really, I just want to go into it is funny. I mean, it depends how I feel, how much sugar this blackcurrant cordial's got in it for me, but I want to try and go into the details of these elections. So, does Owen and Richard and Rioni, I'm going to pick on you three because you're the youngest, because I presume myself or Ayo could answer this. So, what type of election happened yesterday?
A local election.
A local
election.
And what do you know what that means, Owen? What a local election means?
Local election, in my defence, means you're voting for representations of your county. For them to represent the town in the Houses of Parliament.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Almost there. Almost. Okay. Richard, do you want to add anything to it?
I didn't know there was an election yesterday. So. I didn't even know there was one.
That's my boy. I like it. Right. So, Rioni, what about you?
I
You cut
don't have.
Oh,
You cut off.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we can hear
I
you.
hear you now.
Oh, I said I don't have a clue what elections are. What the
You,
difference
you
is.
don't have a clue. That's fine. Right, Ao, do you know what these local elections represent?
Yeah, I think I think I do. I think the easiest way to define it is that the local election is election done locally. Well, it's election that it's within the county, not a national one, not into the not into parliament, but within the county, and mostly electing councillors to represent your ward or your area, so to speak, within the local council.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, cool. Right. Okay. So the difference between our local elections that have gone on and the national elections is like it's about responsibility. So in Northampton, so we are now split into West Northamptonshire and North Northamptonshire. Now the reason for that is I don't know if anyone knows the reason why we've now got that mixture.
Can I have a
of
guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Are we just copying The Simpsons about the area code?
Apparently we are the area code. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So
No, but in all
so
seriousness, explain, James.
yeah. So in 2018, basically, Northampton County Council effectively got told off by the national government for mismanagement of money. Now there were accusations of embezzlement and all this kind of stuff. But I'm not going to go into that just now. So, but what basically happened was we're now split into like West Northamptonshire and North Northamptonshire. Now, this is also important. Yesterday was important for Northamptonshire as a whole because it's the first time we've actually been able to have an election for years, whereas everywhere else in the country was having these elections because of the mess up of Northampton County Council as it was then. So I'm going to list off some things, and I want each of you to guess whether it's the local council's responsibility or the national council's responsibility for this. Okay, so waste collection. Whose responsibility do you think that is?
Local.
Local, Richard?
National.
National?
I'll go with local.
Local? And AO?
Yeah, local.
Local. So local is actually correct. The reason for that is apparently Boris has spent too much money on his flat renovation to actually give any money to waste collection. He's spaffed that up the wall already. He doesn't have the time to sort out my bin collections because he's too busy choosing his wallpaper. That's how it's separated, all right?
I wonder if it's got daisies on it.
Yeah, daisies. Okay, right. Housing and planning. Do you think that's national or local?
I think local.
Local, Rioni? Owen, sorry, was that?
I said national.
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 Richard?
National.
National. AO?
Yeah, I think local.
Local. Yeah, it's local again. Apparently,
Really?
Yeah, it's the local council's decision about building houses, really, and building affordable homes. So when I'm 182 and I'm still renting because house prices have gone up so much, I can go, damn you, robot council, because everyone will be robots then. Right, and here's a last one: social care. Is that national or local? Who's having ice cream?
That's me. God damn it. My window's open, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
fine.
it's that loud.
That's fine. I'm surprised the ice cream fan hasn't come around my flat. Love it. Right. So, what about social care then? National or local?
National.
I'm gonna have to say national as well.
National as well, yeah. Rioni,
Yeah, national.
national. Anyone else?
I think that's everyone.
Yeah.
I think we all, I
Well,
think we all,
that's actually local as well. So it's
I'm
local
zero
responsibility.
great.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
going to be quick.
Local responsibilities.
Is this basically? Are you just basically just proving the point that Boris doesn't want to really do anything?
Well, I think what I'm trying to prove the point of is like local elections across this country, for as long as we've had them, are much more important than people realise. I mean, yes, in like national elections, we decide, yeah, I want Boris as prime minister, I want Joe Bloggs as prime minister, whatever, and they sort out, should we say, the big things, the big ideas of basically either going, yes, let's increase minimum wage so people on minimum wage can actually afford to live, or no, let's stand on poor people. You know, that kind of big decision. Basically, but on a local scale, like the decisions of like A&E departments, police and crime commissioners, old roads being resurfaced, like outside where I live, my flats. Yeah, I mean, last year they resurfaced. It's a little kind of basically a cul-de-sac, and oh my god, every time you drive down it, you have to drive at 2 miles an hour because the amount of potholes. Yeah, and that was actually sorted out finally last year. And I actually went, thank you, local council, for once, rather than dissing them. But yeah, but I think this idea that especially our social care, so care for elderly people, people with disabilities and stuff, is a local concern. Is, you know, people don't realise. So I mean, do you think that's right? Do you think that's how it should be separated, or do you think more responsibility should be with national government? Owen, go.
Yes, I do think that a few more responsibilities should be along with national government. Social care, definitely a good example.
It's especially social care, yeah?
Yeah, especially. Out of the three that you listed, I think social care is definitely the highest one out of the three. That should have been national, not local.
Right, okay. Richard, you got any thoughts on that?
Same with Owen. I was very confident with my answer with national for social care, and when you said it was local, I was like, Boris is just no help, is he?
A good point, well made.
Yeah, I do think national should have more responsibilities.
Yeah, I mean, any specific things you want to pick up on, like you think should definitely be their responsibility?
Stuff about like the environment and that, so like waste collection and picking up the litter and that. I'd say stuff about that.
Yeah, I mean they do have kind of a national idea, if you know, a quota or whatever, but whether that's actually fulfilled or not, I mean, this is just my own knowledge. Like Northampton County Council, before it came these two, West Northampton, North Northamptons, basically all the waste collection went to a private company. And there was lots of stuff happening with that private company that said that it didn't actually recycle any of the waste that people put into the specific bins and stuff, because it cost them money. And I mean, that's just outrageous, because as soon as you give it to like a private thing, there's no one to be really hold accountable in government, is there? Ao, what about your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I think really it's good that the local council handles most of these things, because to be honest, nobody has a better knowledge of what's going on within a community than people in the community. Yeah. A lot of these guys up there, a lot of guys in number 10 don't know what's going on within the community. I believe they are out of touch with the community. But having said that, I think one of the problems many councils have is that of funding. I think the central government should do more in putting funding in the right places, not wrong places, not doing rubbish and wrong stuff, in the right places where the need really is. So I think, it's good for the local council to be in charge, have responsibility on the community, because they know what's going on. They are in touch with the grassroots. but I believe the central government should do more in terms of putting funding into local services. And I think in agreement with what Richard said, things like, the environment, like housing, like social care, like education, the central government should have more involvement in it. Yeah, I think that.
Cool. Leonie?
Yeah, I agree with AO. I was gonna say that like the local councils more like down to earth. So like they will know what's going on in the community rather than the national people. So yeah, I agree with that. 100%. But yeah, like social care and that, like big things like that, I think the national should be more involved, definitely.
Yeah. Anything else anyone wants to add about that?
I think we're good.
I don't think so. I think AO actually covered it quite well, to be honest.
Yeah, I like it when it's covered quite well.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, if anyone else has got any thoughts on that kind of responsibility, please let us know in the chat. So, I mean, do you know what exactly was voted for yesterday? Anybody?
I think I do, because I think my mum mentioned it to me. It was
good old mums. Gotta love it.
Oh yeah, you gotta love your mum. I think it was a new police commissioner, fire commissioner, and then I think the last one was a representation of the council, I think.
Yeah, so every ward got to vote for 3 seats. So here's an example of the so Kingsthorpe, for example, it's just the latest one that's come through on the live page. So there were 3 Conservatives, 3 Greens, 3 Labour, 1 Lib Dem, and 1 independent person who put themselves forward, and you had to pick 3 of them. So what generally happens is so I will go, oh my God, I'm a loony lefty. I will put down as everyone as far left as I possibly can, or someone else would go, oh, I'm a horrible right-wing person, I'm going to vote for whatever, yeah? Or you can go, do you know what? I don't trust any of you. I want to vote for Count Binface, independent. but unfortunately, he's only available in London. So, so that's what you do. Now there are for West Northampton, there are 93 seats available across all those different constituencies, basically, from what I can gather, with a total of 4,650 across the country that are voting yesterday. I mean, that's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot of councillors, and I hope everyone does actually think about it. So, I had a conversation with my girlfriend yesterday. Now, yes, we are left wing. Going to put it out there. So I'm not really going to vote for a Conservative candidate, but that doesn't mean I'm going to blindly go. It's still important for me as also to look at those candidates and actually where I live. Do they represent me? Do they actually represent me? So that's where it comes down to them doing canvassing and going, Owen, give me your vote. I'm better than anyone else. And you kind of going, actually, you did kill a swan. That doesn't represent what I want to vote for. I'm not voting for you. That kind of thing. So you can kind of make up your own mind. Okay. Now I'm part of this. I mean, I did tell everyone the percentage of of people that actually voted. But to put this into context, so I can't find any definitive data on this, on how many people are eligible to vote in West Northamptonshire since from censuses. But across the country, 28 million people are eligible to vote. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of people, isn't it? And you would you expect them all to vote?
You would expect a large majority of them to vote, and maybe just like a few, like a very small amount for their own reasons or other things in mind to not vote. Yeah. Not saying that they deliberately didn't vote. I'm just covering all the bases that they might have forgotten or they were too busy to actually get there in time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Once you said how much, my brain's felt like 26 million. Like 2 million just decided not to
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've got to add that the statistic I gave you earlier, Richard, was just for our county, not for like where our rep, not in the entire country.
Example.
Yeah. But it's similar across the UK. Well, England, I should add England. Ao, Rioni, what do you think?
I think I don't know because I feel like people my age don't really vote, and I think that's because like we don't really get apart from our parents will probably tell us, oh, today's voting this and that. We don't really get told what it is and how important it is and that. So I feel like that's why majority of youth don't vote.
Yeah.
Whereas other people, I don't know, as the boys said, probably just forgot or just general reasons like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, it's interesting you put that because there's also an argument that says that people, because they vote. I mean, it's changed recently, like the Labour Red Wall, as it's been called in the North. People that have voted Labour their entire lives suddenly change their vote, but there's still people that just go, ugh, they're Labour, they're Conservative, I'll just vote for them. You know, there's people that just do it without even thinking. So there's an argument to say that they're less engaged than young people actually not knowing anything about it because they're just going through the motions. Ao, what about you?
Yeah, I think I agree with Rioni that a lot of young people don't vote because they're not carried along in a way. And then I believe as well that people are just tired. I don't really think anybody. I don't really think a lot of people. Don't let me say anybody. I don't think a lot of people forgot. I believe a lot of people are just tired of the same old thing, and because of the lack of trust in government, people are not just bothered. To be honest, even though I don't think it's the best course of action, but I think because I've had a few conversations as well with colleagues at work, clients, and all that. And most of the time, that's what I get. It's not going to change anything anyway. They're not going to change. The politicians, they're not going to change. They're still going to be who they are. And you can really argue that many a times that's right. But I think people are just fed up. The lack of trust in government has just caused a lot of people to give up on voting.
Yeah, I think that's true across all parties, really. I mean, I'm not going to diss. People that vote Tory or people that vote Labour. I think there's an endemic problem with people just not being engaged at all. So, I mean, I told everyone earlier in West Northamptonshire, 29% of the electorate voted. So 29%, which
that's quite low. That's really low.
I mean, Bristol, the turnout was 41%. That's just some info I managed to quickly get. So you think, okay, that's all right. Yeah. But in Scotland, is it Iverclyde? I want you to guess the percentage they had.
48.
Oh, right. Anyone else want to have a guess?
17%,
Richard?
1%.
Right, okay. Nobody has faith in the Scottish. Rioni, what do you reckon the percentage was?
Right, 45.
45, okay. Well, I can say that I think Ao, you had 48. Did you say 48? Yeah. You were the closest, but the actual percentage was 92%.
Whoa!
Yeah, so you only won by default, basically. So right, hold on. Before I carry on, hello, Kevin. Kevin's coming. To be honest, the only reason I knew about the vote was because of flyers through my door. Do they post them out in uni dorms? No, they probably don't go to uni dorms because young people, they don't care about that vote. If I'm honest, the engagement with young people is pretty poor because they just see young people as not being important. So 92%. Now, in a place called Annie's Land in Glasgow, which is now Glasgow. One of my best friends is from Glasgow. I mean, Glasgow is really split with like some real horrible, like poverty-strewn areas, and you kind of expect those kind of areas, or you've got this stereotype that they're the ones that don't vote. But they had 70% of those that were eligible voted. 70.
Wow.
Which is of it. So the Scottish seem to be much more engaged with politics in comparison to us. Why do you think that is?
Because they're still on the constitutional fight to leave the UK.
So you think actually that their idea of nationalism is actually bringing them forward a bit?
Maybe, because they did have that vote a while ago to either leave the UK as a whole. Obviously, the majority that vote came to the conclusion that they don't leave. But maybe that's made people question to be more involved to understand it better. So that if they ever get the chance to do something like that again, which in my opinion is probably very high, at least then they'll be much more engaged with what's going on and then make a firm decision.
Yeah.
Even with little small local elections, they're clearly involved with it.
Yeah. Anyone else want to pipe in?
Yeah, I think...
maybe. Oh, go on.
Oh no, ladies first.
And maybe because
I have to ask, what was the question again? I completely
why have the Scottish got such a high voter turnout in comparison to England?
Oh, yeah, maybe because they promote it more. Like locally, like they might give out leaflets, always reminding people. There might be people that knock on people's doors to just make sure they're up to date with everything and that. Whereas I don't think in Northampton they do that, because when I was there for a year, I didn't come across no posters or anything at uni.
I will mention that I did get a leaflet through my letterbox alongside with my mum and dad's as well about the local elections as well. So they do post leaflets around, but I will agree, Leonie, that they don't put posters about. I know that.
I mean, do you think it's just about that, or do you think we should? This is for Owen, Richard, and Rioni mainly. Do you think there should be some kind of political education in school?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I think I may be wrong, but you see, politicians know that young people question things. Young people they're not gullible, and they question things a lot. And when they question things, they don't just question things, irrationally, intelligently. They would most likely do a very intelligent engagement. And I think it makes politicians a little bit skeptical about young people. I think they're afraid of young people, if I may put it in the right words, because they know that they're going to get challenged. They're going to get asked the difficult questions. But with adults and elderly people, they know what they want to hear. Politicians know what people want to hear, and they don't waste time in saying it. And they know that once they say it, they know what you want to hear. Once they say you're happy, and you take it like that and you go. But they know that with young people, it's not like that. And then I think really with Scotland, there's so much, I see so much energy in Scotland because they want to, so much political energy, because I believe they just want to leave the United Kingdom. And I think that the next goal they have to do that, I think most likely they will be out. Most likely.
And sorry, just now I just finished. Kevin, so it's Wales at 16. 16, 17-year-olds are allowed to vote. Now, I don't have...
Sorry, I went onto the .gov website because I saw that comment from Calvin. But for Scottish Parliament, you are allowed at the age of 16.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. You are allowed at the age of 16. So it's Scotland and Wales.
Sorry, I missed the comments. I missed the comment from Kevin. What did he say?
He's asking, are they allowed to vote younger in Scotland, or is that in Wales?
Oh, okay.
So it's actually both. So I mean, so to have that kind of turnout with allowing 16 and 17-year-olds the chance to vote. I mean, that's massive.
That's massive. Honestly.
That's really empowering. That's really important.
That's massive.
And here's us in West Northamptonshire with 29%. I mean, right. So, yeah, I'd find it a bit sad, right? A bit sad, to be honest. I don't want to take away people that have obviously won their seats or anything. Especially, I mean, Adam, if you're watching, because you do join in, congratulations on your win. But I do want to make a kind of a different point here. So I've done some maths. Now these are estimations, so based on that 29% figure. Okay. Oh, Greens have got their first councillor in Northamptonshire history. That is really good. I like that.
Really?
That literally just come through.
Yep.
Oh, we got it live.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, for example, like Headlands, I am where they are, but Headlands have got 1 Conservative, 2 Labour. That kind of applies to us. Delapre and Rushmere have got 1 Conservative, 1 Independent, and 1 Labour. Yeah, that's quite interesting. So, but I've done some maths, right? I'm not. It's on Excel, so it's not really presentable, should we say? But based on that kind of 29% figure. Excuse me. So in Kingsthorpe, it was won by three Conservatives. Yeah, 3 Conservatives. So now in Kingsthorpe, 9,793 people voted. That was it. So less than 10,000 people voted. Now those 3 Conservatives between them, so we'll call it 10,000. Between them, got 40% of that vote, pretty much. Fine, well done. You know, you've got the lion's share. But using that 29% figure, it's estimated that there should be just under 34,000 people eligible to vote in Kingsthorpe. So that means that people in Kingsthorpe are at the whim of 12% of the vote. So an easier figure would be that 20, thinking that 29%. So the 5 of us are here, yeah. I vote for me to be Prime Minister, yeah. And the 4 of you forget to vote. That means I make all the rules. Owen, give me 20 quid. Come on. So give me 20 quid. Richard, I need you to hop on one leg for 10 minutes. You know, I make all the rules. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. And I think this issue, I mean, like, so Conservatives won in Kingsthorpe with 12%. Labour won, I can't remember which actually area. They won with 16% technically of the electorate. And they're being given the power to make these decisions. So, is that right?
When you told me it was Kingsthorpe that was like the large majority of that percentage, I live in Kingsthorpe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm part of that percentage, if I may be honest. Mm-hmm. I didn't vote. I didn't go. My mum literally just told me it was voting day that day.
Yeah.
And I was home and I was like, yeah, I don't really want to leave the house. So I am a little bit disappointed.
Well, the issue here is, how do we politically engage you, Owen? Don't just listen to me, because I'm a loony lefty, remember? Yeah. I put on quite a rude thing on Facebook yesterday, should we say, on my personal Facebook, where I basically said, this is my opinion, but please still vote at the end. You know, just vote, because it's important. Is it whatever you believe in? You need to vote for it. You need to be engaged. Now, there's another really good friend of mine who hasn't voted ever in his entire life, and he's almost, the same age as me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's because, in his own words, he doesn't care because he's just going to look after himself and his family. That's it. He doesn't care. but then I try to explain to him that, but it does matter. It's like, if you're not engaged that way, you can't change anything. Right? Okay. Let's put everyone on the spot. Rioni, you first. If you were elected as a councillor, what would be the first thing you'd do?
Oh, I'd have to go first.
I was just trying to catch you out. Sorry. What was you thinking? I'll give you some thinking time. So, Kevin, good show, guys. I need to go, but keep up the good chats. Thanks, Kevin.
No, thanks, Kevin.
Cheers, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for coming on.
Well, so what do you reckon, Rioni? What if you were elected as a councillor? What would be the first thing you'd put into place?
Well, it depends, isn't it? Because it depends what's the biggest issue is in that area, type of thing.
Well, what is the biggest issue to you then?
See, I'm from Birmingham, so I'm not really from Northampton. So
okay. The biggest issue where you live in Birmingham.
In Birmingham.
Yeah.
I think the litter, to be honest.
Litter. Right.
Yeah.
So get more bin men on the road collecting litter.
Yeah, or just like bins around. Because the other day I went to a park. I don't know if you know Sutton Park. It's like a really huge park.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
And
that one, yeah.
I was eating and I had rubbish, and I swear I had more rubbish in my hand for like the whole day. There was no bins, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is why people litter, because there's literally no bins, and the park was huge.
Yeah. I mean, the bin problem at local parks is a problem nationally, really. I mean, it's bad in Northampton as well. Like when we had the first kind of heat wave. I mean, one of the reasons why there was litter everywhere is because there's no bins, or they're all full. It's just not worked out properly. Ayo, what about you? What would be the first thing you'd do as a councillor?
Wow, that's a big question. Wow. Oh, a lot, to be honest. A lot. I think in my area, really, I've been in contact with a lot of vulnerable people, and there's no food bank in my area. So, yeah, there's no food bank in my area. People use food bank in my area, and they need to travel at least 10 minutes away to access food parcels. So I think I'm going to do that first. And of course, being as well. Being and then housing standard. Yeah. So I think those will be my priority. Environmental in terms of waste, standard of housing, and making affordable housing accessible to people. And then, of course, food bank facility.
Yeah, okay. Although I'd argue that use of more food banks like that have risen over 2,000% under the Conservative government is criminal anyway. So, but we'll carry on. Richard, what's the first thing you'd do?
I really just don't know.
You don't know?
No. I don't know what a councillor really means.
Okay, what would you like to change where you live in Blackthorn then?
The people.
The people. How
I was thinking. I was like, do I say? Do I not?
No, right. It's like, I mean, what do you think is wrong with that area of Blackthorn?
The litter that we do have. Litter.
I mean, there is a history of fly tipping in Blackthorn as well, isn't there? Like, not just normal litter. Fly tipping is pretty bad around there. But I mean, arguably, I would say Blackthorn because it's a bit of a poverty-stricken area for a lot of people. Because generally there is a lot of people that are really not very fortunate, or just kind of sent there and forgotten about, in my opinion, a little bit. And that's why we as Free to Talk are kind of there a bit, because it needs building up and needs empowering. Owen, what about you?
I say this because my mum teaches there. External education for vulnerable children.
Mm-hmm.
Because normal government schooling obviously needs its own attention, but you need schools that have the proper equipment and safety regulations for children who are difficult to handle, who have very strong mental health issues. Some might have even disabilities. And my mum works in one of those schools, and I've been there even during like school hours, and I see that it is very tough there. It is very tough. So I would say education as a primary, but high up on the list, vulnerable children education as the top priority.
Excellent. Okay, well, I suppose we should do mine. I would change the law to make me leader of the world, and then I'd get more time to try and fix everything. That's my plan.
If you didn't add that last little bit, I would have questioned that would be right.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for bad reasons, Owen. I want to do it so I can sort out loads of stuff, basically. And and when people try and like be cronies to me in government, like, oh, if I give you this money for some wallpaper, will you give me some tax reductions? I'll go, no.
No, you just do this. I'll take the money, but you can go away.
Yeah, you can go away, and then I'm gonna set up a charity.
Exactly. Take their money and use it for good.
Put that money towards the NHS or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, and I'll tell you what I won't do. I won't put any of that information on the side of a bus. Right. Because that is obviously the real reason why everything failed. It was on the side of a bus. Right. So we've definitely got an issue with the kind of percentage of people that are being voted in. Still got nothing in for town centre area yet.
Are you getting live coverage?
Yes, I am getting live coverage. I've been keeping an eye on it all day, basically. Labour and Cooperative just won St George.
St George.
St George, yeah. I presume it was at St George's Road. They're in the racecourse. I don't know. Thought that'd be anyway. I need so some of it isn't as well explained as it should be, but that's kind of how it's all worked out. St George, where are you? Yeah, I think that's around the racecourse, actually, St George. Right, so now we've kind of talked a little bit about that. Do you, Owen, Richard, and Rioni? This is mainly for you. Do you feel like you want to go away and try and understand it better at all?
Yes.
Or do you just want to ask people and find out stuff? What do you reckon? Owen's yes, Richard?
Definitely yes.
Yes, but a bit of both.
A bit of both, because are you a bit more despondent about it, a bit, Richard? Are you like, oh, I'm fed up of politics?
It's hard to understand.
Yes,
that's all I'm going to say. It's hard to understand.
Okay. Rioni?
Yeah. I think I'll do a bit of both as well. I'll do my own research and ask around.
So if I said to you that I'd be looking at possibly getting some councillors who have now won their seats from different parties on the show as guests to talk about certain issues, do you think that'd be a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, cool. All right, wicked. That's all right, because one of them's already said yes. Aha!
Oh, God. What have we said no?
Yeah, I know. I would have gone, sorry.
Sorry, co-hosts.
They don't like politics. Sorry. Yeah, because yeah. Well, you know what? It's completely fine to not like politics. It's completely fine to feel like the world around you doesn't change. It's completely fine to feel annoyed about that. And I think that's the more important thing, to feel annoyed about, well, what's the point in voting? It doesn't change anything. But some of these figures, right? So some of the figures are really, really close. Like, I mean, a dozen votes in it for certain councillors, like to see who got a seat and stuff. So in one of them, that's 200 mark. Yeah, so there's a couple of hundred seats in it at one time, sometimes, if that, like votes to be voted on. So I think the important thing to take away from this is your vote is important. It does count. It is important to try to be politically engaged. But also, I personally didn't vote until I was in my 20s. Didn't vote for anything until I was in my 20s because I didn't really have an opinion. You know, and I felt the same. I was like, well, what's the point? I want to go.
Yeah. I feel like people feel like their vote won't count, type of thing. Like, oh, what is my vote going to change? Well, if everyone has that mindset, then no one would vote. So I think that's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, to add to that, I mean, I think this idea of us having a vote at all, there are still places across the world that don't have access to that, you know. I mean, Russia, they're going to have a robot Putin leading Russia till the end of time because he will change the laws to keep himself in power forever. You know, we've got dictators in other areas of the world. You know, it's just arguably Iran without picking it is what's called a theocracy. So they're kind of just led by religious extremism rather than actual democracy. So yeah, it's all across the world. There's different things, and we should feel grateful, I suppose, that we've got the vote. So we've got like 10 minutes left. So there's a few things I want to finish off with. The most important one, because it kind of comes in with what we've been talking about a bit, because I want to share how important this voting is. So there's a story of on May 11th, this Russian girl, right? She's 19, so she's just a year younger than you, Owen. She's now facing 2 years in prison for using force on the police whilst peacefully protesting by sitting on the floor.
What?
Yes. So she was reading the Constitution of the Russian Federation to riot policemen, and she's now been given 2 years for using force on police. She's due to be sentenced next week on Monday, I think. Yeah. She said she was inspired by Sophie Scholl, an anti-fascist executed by Nazis in 1943. So if I know this is a young girl that's using her power to protest to a degree. Any thoughts on that?
Oh wait, it's a Tuesday. The 11th is Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday? Sorry. So, I mean, I'm going to be keeping an eye on it on Olga for what she was doing, because obviously she is using force there, isn't she? Yeah. So I think we're in a position where, I mean, that's Russia, as I said. It's basically a dictatorship. So yeah, we should definitely feel grateful that we've got this power. So yeah, I think we've come to pretty much the end. So sorry, I've bored you to death, Richard, with politics. But I was considering just doing screen shares of all the political information I got via Twitter and sharing it just to watch you kind of punch through the screen into my face. look at his face. He's so annoyed. He's so annoyed. He's so annoyed. He's so angry. Right. So there's one other thing that's local that I just want to briefly touch on because I didn't realise the time. So police in Northampton, to share that, are issuing us a second warning about the dangers of cannabis-laced sweets after colleagues in Surrey reported 4 children were recently hospitalised after ingesting sweets which were presumed to be infused with a drug. So there's a bit of a warning out there for young people. So these are some examples. Now, I'm a bit weirded out by the nerds one there, because nerds are an actual sweet. But Calabo, you can see they're kind of named after popular brands. So Stony Patch and all that kind of stuff. So what I would say to young people is obviously just be careful.
Haribos.
Yeah, and also I check the labels, but I also do know that there are homemade cannabis sweets out there, and they are particularly strong from what I've heard, and quite horrible. I mean, I'm strong because like these kids have been hospitalized because of the amount of cannabis and stuff in these sweets. So do be careful, please, out there. But yeah, we're on to our favorite thing of the week that made us happy. So Owen, what's made you the happiest this week?
Well, I think definitely the factor that I was being able to, except for Monday, go into college every single day of the week. So that is quite a nice feeling because that's the first time I've done that properly since in the before times.
The before time. It's like the year was 800 BC. The before time.
In the before times. Yeah, so I usually would go into college to see my mates on my days off because I don't like being on my own at home. But today I had the opportunity to go into college to just help out with the level 2's performance today, which I hope they did very well with. I got to watch a lot of it, so it looked very good. So I had to shoot off to be on here with you guys, so I didn't get to see the full end product. But I hope that they did very, very well because they did work really hard, despite of how chaotic the dress rehearsal and the tech team were.
Theatre. Well, hopefully, I mean, eventually I might be able to come actually see one of your productions, but obviously I'm still in a lockdown.
Well, the show that I'm currently doing right now will be streamed, that my director will also edit together. So if I can get a link, I might send it over.
Yeah, please get the link. Please send it to us. Yeah.
It is, but it won't be for this TV show, I'm afraid, because it has very strong language and very strong messages.
That's fine.
And
we'll watch it in our own time.
And also, it has a very strong topic of Twitter. So I'm afraid, Richard, you're going to have to deal with that.
No, I'll watch it. I don't care. I'll support you. I'll support you. Just know when you say Twitter, the headphones are coming off.
Sorry, before we go on. Right, Lawrence. Hi, Lawrence. You've missed the basically rest of the show. You'd have to go watch it from the beginning.
Yeah, you have to rewatch it because there's been some very good things that you would have had a lot of comments for.
Oh, I don't know. Lawrence was one of the ones I had to talk to before the show. Like,
but I've seen in other programs of Free2talk TV that Lawrence has very strong opinions about a lot of governmental stuff. So
he does. But I mean, Lawrence and I he's been a friend of mine for years. We do disagree on our political stuff, but we're still mates. You can still be friends. To be honest,
I do like listening to his points. I do love.
He fell asleep.
Not to worry. Next week.
Right. Anyway, carry on. So that's Lawrence.
Day.
Yeah, it's been a long day. So that's Lawrence's happy thing for the day. It's his nap time. Richard, what's been your good thing of the week?
Probably one of my favorite TV shows starting up again.
Which is
called Dark Side of the Ring.
Ooh.
Oh, Dark Side of the Ring? Never heard of it. What is it?
Never.
We go into a deep dive of wrestling history.
That makes sense. You're a massive wrestling geek.
Recent one we just had, we went into a deep dive of a wrestler called Brian Pillman, if you remember him, James.
Yeah, I know Brian Pillman.
Yeah.
We went into a deep dive of his life and the tragedy that happened with him.
Yeah. I should watch it, really. I mean, I do enjoy stuff like that.
This is the 3rd season, and I've watched every episode, and they're really good.
I mean, the difficulty is because I'm constantly at home with the girlfriend. She's really not into wrestling, so I can't. We have to share the TV. Put it this way. So it's like, okay, I'll watch wrestling. We'll watch what you want to watch, and that's what cool being a relationship is. I let my girlfriend make all the decisions.
I do recommend, if you're a fan of wrestling, do recommend watching it.
I'll check that out. That sounds great. Rioni, what's been your good thing, your happy thing for this week?
I managed to finish my assignments finally.
Woohoo!
I have a relatable feeling with that.
Yeah, so
Such a
now
good feeling.
not stressed no more.
Oh, that's
I
good.
still
I
got
like
stuff
it.
to do.
That's excellent news. I like that. Well, Ayo, what about yours?
Oh yeah, I think I share Rione's excitement. This week I've had to turn in 2 assignments, 2,500 words each.
Yay!
One on Monday, one yesterday. And then I think the second thing is Bank Holiday Monday was a very, very big relief for me.
Yeah.
It made, it was.
Oh, that's good. I like it. Where's I've got 2. Am I allowed 2? I'm allowed 2. Aren't I?
You had 2 last week.
Yeah.
You had 2 this
Yeah, I had
week.
2 last week. So here's the first one. So where's it gone? There's it. There it is. So here's the first one. So I got a certificate.
Cool.
So my level 3 in education and teaching. And when I opened up my certificate, I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I did a photo shoot like your mum used to make you do at school? After you got like your 10-meter swimming certificate and stuff. So that's what I did. So yeah, that's basically what happened there. So that's my first one. Now,
just gonna say, I did just read one of the responses on there.
Oh yes,
and
yes.
It did make me laugh.
One of my friends edited it. It's obviously because don't put anything on the internet, kids, because your friends will edit it just to take the mickey out of you. But my second one is because I do go on Reddit quite a lot. I should put it this way. So you found some of those links were from Reddit, and I found this on Reddit. I think it was yesterday, and I think I watched it over and over again at least 10 times in a row. It's a very short little video. And it's basically it's kind of entitled Surprise Owl. Okay, are you ready?
I think I've seen this.
Oh my god.
Yep, I've seen this film before.
Hello.
Hang on, keep playing it. Did someone say pizza? Yoink.
Pizza. Sliding across the floor.
Oh
Yeah. So yeah, that was my good things of the week. So there we go. Right. Anyway, thank you all for joining me for this conversation. I hope it's been a bit informative because it was a serious conversation, really. Didn't involve much fun or entertainment. It was fairly serious. But for those that have been watching or liked or commented, thank you very much. And we look forward to seeing you next Friday. I've been James. We've had Owen, Richard, Ayo, and Rione. Everybody say bye to the stream.
Bye, guys.
Bye.